bud, not buddy, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what I've done today is I pulled various words from, no more than 6, that we're going to work with. Because I saw while we were reading that some of us, we got it, we did it with the context clues, but I want to make sure that you fully comprehend what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, Miss,
Okay,
yes.
are we looking?
Yes.
Okay, so the first word that I want to look at, and then we have our graphic organizer right in front of us. So what you're going to do, you're going to write the word down when I show it to you. So this is the first word.
Should we make it big or small?
Well, these are your notes, so it's just enough for you to understand, okay? Well, we're going to see a total, we're going to have a total of 6, okay? But the first word is going to be wax paper.
Okay.
Okay, now, I need you to write that down for me, wax paper, okay? Can you give her a little help there? Thank you. Now I need you to listen, please. With wax paper, how is it used? And this is chapter 11. Some of you have read it, some of you are going to read it, but so when that time comes, we'll have an understanding of what is wax paper? Does anyone know?
Is it something that you used to cook?
Oh,
Okay.
Like you put it on your pants?
like sometimes people like iron stuff and they put wax paper
Yeah.
over it to iron.
Okay, but in the sense of the story itself, they're talking about wax paper. And you know the timeline, and I'm gonna let you feel it, because it has what on it? Can't you feel that? It's actually a waxy finish. Now during that time, remember this is during the Great Depression, right? And during that time, this is what we had. We didn't have saran wrap and those type of things. This is what we used to wrap our sandwiches with. So I wanted you to understand that. So if we were to define this, how would we define it? What word would we use?
A plastic wrapper.
So what would you use if you had to define this? Put a definition down. Put it in your own words. You put a definition down that you've seen it and understand it. Because remember in the book, the sandwich was wrapped in what?
Wax paper.
Right, it's sandwich. And those of you who haven't read it, the sandwich was wrapped in wax paper, right? So if it was wrapped in wax paper, how would you define it? What's your definition of what you perceive? You said to cover food. Very good. You have, okay, so we're writing it down.
A paper covered in wax for covering things.
But is that really, you're using the definition again. Remember we talked, she said to cover food. So I'm saying, can we agree on that definition? In the sense of what it's used for. We need to focus now, we need to stay back, we need to focus. Okay, so after we've done
to
that,
cover food.
right, okay, now give me a synonym for that.
A synonym.
Give me a synonym. Yes, but it has a synonym is a word, another word, but it has the same what?
Beginning.
No,
The
same.
same meaning?
Okay, so write it down.
Plastic wrap.
Okay, let's write it down.
Saran.
And if you can come up with something else, write that down. So what else do you use to maybe cover a sandwich? Now,
Bags.
foil, very good.
Plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap, okay, that was another word for saran because yes, but these are brand names and what we use. Very good. Foil, you can write that down. Remember, this era is doing the what?
Paper towels.
Okay, sometimes we do cover, but would a paper towel really protect a sandwich? Foil would, very good.
I
But what-
wrote saran. Yeah, just keep it hot.
Okay.
A plate that can go over top of it. Like a
Okay,
plastic.
but you still have to, because air can get through, but I like what you're doing. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna look at, some type of sentence. Let's create a sentence for this. Now remember, I'm going to say, for those who have not read it, that it says, and there's more to it, protecting is what we're gonna rewrap the sandwich in the plastic, in the what?
Wax paper.
There you go. You have the word in front of you. Okay, in the wax paper. Very good.
So sentence used.
Very good. Very good. So we're gonna write a sentence. I need you, okay, this one to put right here. Let's look here. And remember we said what? We're gonna use the word what? Foil. You see that? See foil? F-O-I. I got it. Can you pick that? Yes. And then I want you to draw a picture, as we have done, to get that across as well, all right?
How are the other words gonna fit?
Oh, well, we're only gonna use one. 'Cause what word are we focusing on?
Wax paper.
Okay, wax paper is what we're gonna use. And then what type of picture can we draw for that?
Just paper.
Yes, but I need an example. So you said just paper itself? So what type of sentence are we going to use for this? A wax paper. And
I tried to do
draw
a
picture. Now, what's that a picture of too? Because remember, this is for you to remember, right? And I want to hear some of these sentences. I want to hear you.
We wrap our sandwiches in wax paper. No. I said I used my wax paper.
I use it with oil.
To cover your food.
I said I used my
Say-
wax paper to make my food.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, remember, now wax paper is not as secure as what?
Like
Saran
oil.
wrap.
But
So if we, no,
Can you
but see,
melt
none of them, let me see, I guess if you were to put heater, but see what it will do with the melt, it will keep it, the goal of wax
It'll
paper
warm,
is
yeah.
to keep it, you say warm?
Well, it's kind of hot.
Why would we put wax on it? What would it do?
Oh, sometimes like
protects
we make like grapes out of beans and we iron it to make them stay together.
Okay, that's one way that we use, that's the modern way we use, but remember, this is all we had during that era. So what do you think? They said the sandwich, what would it is protecting it, but because it has what on it?
wax.
It would keep it what?
Warm.
If it was hot, if it was cold, but
It keeps the temperature.
it maintains the temperature. So what will, for a certain length of time, is it really secure?
No.
It kind of loosens up a little bit, doesn't it? So what do you think, because we're probably going to eat it, we're going to use it for lunch or take it as we're traveling. So it would protect it, but it would keep it what?
The temperature. It would keep the
The
temperature.
temperature. What I'm looking
Safe.
for one other thing. It would keep it safe. Everything you're saying is very true. Keep it clean. How about it would keep it? What would happen if something sits out and it's unprotected? It would end up
It
doing
would
what?
like get
Mold.
dirty.
Dirty and what?
Mold.
Mold. Yeah, but it would get
Bad.
hard. So wax paper helps to keep it
Not hard.
It's like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Moist.
moist. How about that?
Moist.
You understand what I'm saying? It'll help to keep it so it wouldn't dry out, right? Because you're wrapping it. I agree with everything you're saying, but it's not going to hold that heat in, but it's going to make sure it doesn't dry out. Remember, it's a sandwich. Doesn't bread get hard after a while?
Yeah.
It does. Everything you all said as far as that goes, but in the sense of this, we
Even like
understand what it is.
meat, because sandwiches, some sandwiches have meat.
Okay, right. The meat will stay moist as well. Very good. So, oh, great picture. So this is a picture of what? Tell us. What's the picture of? What are we talking about? Sandwiches, right? So is that a picture of your sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay. We have to help us with a sentence. Let me see. Let's hear something. What's your sentence say again?
I will cover my food with wax paper.
And
That's really
I will cover my wax paper. So I use my wax paper.
okay. So what do you have there, Molly? Okay, we'll come back to Molly.
We use our wax paper to cover our sandwiches before we eat them.
Okay, and go louder.
I will use plastic bags to cover clothes and drinks.
Okay. Wax paper. What you get? Did you write one? Okay. And excuse me, I'm so sorry. That is what we're trying to say most importantly. It is to protect. Remember, this is an era that's different, so we need to understand those terms. So I'm going to give you, going to go over one. Well, we have 6. We're going to go over one more. Next word will be, see if we can sound this, if we know this one.
Honey. Honey. It's like
But actually, the word is
funny.
pruning. So what does pruning mean?
There's no R.
Pruning.
Like prune.
Pruning.
It means like wrinkles.
Wrinkles.
You make the R sound.
It means
Okay,
wrinkles. Wrinkles.
Pruning. Okay.
It's wrinkles.
Very good. Pruning. Now, in the sense, in the story itself, and then you flip your page over, pruning means, and that's why I was saying when you were reading it, pruning means,
Look to this
I would
way.
say, Robert, can you stand up for me? Oops. Okay, and I need you to stand up as well for me, Mark. Now, Molly and Robert will be considered as pruning.
That's tall.
Well, tall, but also what?
Skinny.
Small. Remember Mr. I'm trying to see. Remember the character in the story? Who was he speaking with in,
That man.
his name was what?
Bugs.
Bud.
No, that's our main character. That's our protagonist.
No, Bugs.
But yes, but his first name was what?
Tom.
No, not in chapter 11 now, because we're getting there. What was his
I
name?
forgot his, but they called him Bugs.
Lefty, what?
Lefty Thomas.
His last name was it Thomas? Does anyone remember?
Todd.
Yes, Todd.
Nope, that's the character. That's one of the
That's the
other
main
characters. But remember, he's run away. He's with that family, if you recall, and the person that he's with is a jokester.
Todd Amos.
And his first name was Lefty. But he said he couldn't call him that because Bud couldn't call him that because Bud was he wasn't old enough, right?
Oh, he doesn't get it yet. He doesn't get the joke.
Right, he doesn't get the joke. So he's saying he considered Bud as being what?
Young.
Pruning. Remember the word is pruning. And if we were to define pruning, it means actually in this sense small and weak. So we're going to write that down. So write down the word pruning. And that's what he is. He's pruning. But remember, Bud is going through a lot of what?
Work.
Well, he's left the what? What did he leave initially?
Orphanage.
He's left him. He's on a
I mean, no,
pilgrimage.
he left the images.
Right. He left
The
the
Amoses.
right.
Amos.
And he's on a pilgrimage, or he's on a journey to find his what?
He's trying to find his dad.
Right, because his what has
After
passed.
he left the Amoses.
Okay, so we're looking
The
at this.
Amoses.
Is he traveling what?
By himself.
He's traveling alone.
And he
And
doesn't have
he
food.
meets this really funny, he understands that what he's doing, that he's in pursuit, and he's in the car, and what does Bud perceive him to be?
A vampire.
He's very good. For those who have not read, remember he made his rules that he's going to protect himself. He's able to protect himself from what?
Vampires.
From vampires. Very good. So because he can protect himself from vampires. So we have defined it as being, write it down, small and weak. Compared to Lefty, right?
Yeah.
He is what?
Small and weak.
And remember, he's a jokester.
He's a fat man.
Okay, not so much as his name is Lefty Lewis. Remember, so he wants
That's
him to
my
call
last
him Mr. what?
His name is Lewis?
Lefty Lewis.
I thought his name was Todd. Lewis?
No, we're in chapter 11, Todd's not
You
in
said
there.
Todd Amos. Todd Amos is a
Lefty Lewis.
Lefty Lewis.
See, those of you who yet to get to chapter 11, by the time you get there, you understand what it is. Is Bud hungry?
Yes.
Did he bring food with him?
Yeah.
So when he sees him, yes, dear. Okay, need to push up a little bit. Come up a little bit. Okay. Now, he's going through. So it's pruning. So what else? What's another synonym? Give me a synonym for pruning.
Young, small, weak, skinny.
No, can't use a part.
Young.
A synonym is one word. Well, you could use
Superior.
weak.
Young.
He's looking at it as, now think about the context of it all.
Little.
Okay, if you want to put down little.
Meaty, not meaty.
But it said weak and small.
I put small and weak as a difference.
Is that a healthy word in this sense? But does everybody agree on that?
Weak and small?
If we're weak and you're small and you're pruning. And he was just being nice because he understood that Bud was having things were not quite right for Bud. He understood that. All right?
Yes, that is.
So let's put down what? What's the word we're going to put down? What are we going to do? You come up. I need you to come up with something. Okay?
Yeah, that is.
So put down weak and small. And you said little, okay? Now remember, when you're doing these creating the synonyms and putting this chart together, you have to be able to understand what it is and